Hello and welcome to this fireside chat on the topic of software-defined vehicle, the way forward. I'm Karan Kamal, and with me is Shailendra Srivastava, who is the Chief Delivery Officer of Transportation at L&T Technology Services. Shailendra, why don't you provide a quick introduction about yourself?
Thank you very much. I'm Shailendra Srivastava. Presently, my designation is Chief Delivery Officer for Transportation, mechanical engineer with more than 3 decades of experience, just completed 14 in L&T.
Thank you so much, Shailendra. So we have a very interesting topic on hand today, which is that of software-defined vehicles. And in many conversations that we have had, each one has a very different understanding of what really is the construct of a software-defined vehicle. So I think if we can begin our conversation today in terms of you helping us demystify what really constitutes a software-defined vehicle.
I think software-defined vehicle can be constituted by 6 different pillars which we use. Right. First is the EE architecture, which is more of the high performance compute associated with the zonal architecture and high speed Ethernet backbone. The second one is what we call it as onboard, the software and the software application development which goes inside the car. That's the second part of the pillar. The third is mostly on the off-board side of it. So like we have something going in the car, there's a lot of work gets done on the cloud. So we talk about connectivity, application development, testing, validation, all of that coming from the cloud. The fourth part is cybersecurity part, right? Now everybody talks about cybersecurity. So it has also 2 parts. One is onboard cybersecurity, that is within the car. Second is off-board, which goes in the cloud. Associated with is the functional safety requirements, interdependencies of various features which go into the applications. Then becomes the AI enabled virtualization, testing, validations which has to be performed basically for all the software that is getting developed. Utilizing this on virtual platforms and trying to do validations which eliminates the usage of expensive hill systems or drive tests. So all gets done in virtual world, so we reduce the overall cost. It's not that we don't have to do the hill and drive test, but it reduces the overall thing. And last one is all the tool chain which goes along with that, because now we have cloud based things, we have high performance compute. So the tool chains which are required are completely different for this. So these are the 6 pillars which constitute the software defined vehicle.
Well, that's interesting. As we talk about some of these pillars in the context of software defined vehicles, what are the challenges that your customers are facing, your automotive customers are facing in the context of making SDV a reality?
So see, this is a new concept, and most of us are also learning along as we go. If you know earlier, the customers used to give the systems to the tier 1s, and they used to design, develop, manufacture and sell it, right? Now what has happened is the OEMs have started trying to own a lot of these for their own, and they're also learning on how to manage these things with all the high power compute, the onboard, the offboard, cyber security part. So these are the critical areas where they are looking at help. Now also taking their regular features which are there in the earlier car and trying to bring it on the high compute, alignment, restructure, reposition them. These are the areas where a lot of work is going on, and also availability of certain reusable components which has to be done. These are few areas where customers are struggling, and obviously the resource becomes a major part because these are larger programs with lot of activities to be done. Variety of competencies that are required now. We need cloud, we need cyber security, we need embedded software development, virtualization, new things coming up. So I think these are the critical challenges which customers are facing at this point of time.
And how is an organization like LTTS helping address those challenges of customers, more from an engineering perspective again?
So what we have done is, and L&T Technology Services has always been proactive in investing. In last 18 to 20 months, we have invested significantly. We have developed frameworks, we have developed different virtual platforms which are useful for customers, which we can take it up to them, and also develop the team along with that. So in last 10 months, we have trained almost 1500 to 1800 people in this area to be ready for the challenges which are coming to be delivered to the customer. The proactive investment, development, being partnership with some of the ISVs, the tool chain suppliers, are the areas where we had been focusing and working on. So we are ready to take any type of challenges which customers have and quickly help them in getting in position of what they are looking for.
If you could throw a little more light on the kind of investments that you've made. You did talk about the team, but anything in addition to that in terms of the investments? Because it is literally learning on the go, right? Because we are talking of a topic which is evolving. It's not something that where there are standardized solutions available. It's something where the industry itself is evolving. So how are you making those investments to evolve with the industry?
So we have invested in several different areas, right? See, first and foremost is the whole concept of e-architecture. Now, e-architecture can be at a vehicle level or it can be a zonal controller level. So since we are a service provider, we didn't work on the whole vehicle level, but on the zonal controller level, we have worked on it. We have developed demonstratable demos which are used using the software defined vehicle platform and ready for giving it to. Just to give you an example, we recently worked with one of our marquee customers and virtualization of their infotainment center, and we participated in CES recently. So our customer has demonstrated our capabilities there. Digital twin, virtualization, development of the complete infotainment with all the connected solutions and the latest technologies of AI and Gen AI included in that. So once customer sees that, yes, this is where, I think it gives them more confidence that yes, we're not only talking about developing the people, but also certain accelerators, the frameworks, the reusable components which we have done. So this has given us a lot of advantage where if we show it to the customer, I think our discussions are at a much different level than what we are.
Can you share some more details about the frameworks and accelerators that LTTS has developed in this space?
So as I said, we have developed certain virtualized platforms for, so what happened earlier was when you're doing a software development, you couldn't do any testing unless you have the actual hardware, right? Now there are tools, technologies available where you can virtualize the hardware on the cloud. We have developed virtualization solution which we utilize for different hardware software. We have done proof of concept for one of the infotainment centers completely. I will not say infotainment, it's a complete digital cockpit. Demonstrate to customer on how it can be done. We have developed digital twins. So it is like you see the soft copy of it and then you have a actual thing, you make changes here, you can see the changes happening there and vice versa, right? So those we have done. We have developed what we call it as a continuous integration and build framework. So we have our own tool which we have developed called SafeX. You can, like multiple people keep developing the software, putting it there, it automatically integrates, checks, tests and gives the report, right? So there are several pieces of these which we have already done and demonstrated to our customers on that area.
Interesting. While you talk about this, these aspects around frameworks, accelerators, I'm sure these are some of the differentiators that LTTS has. What are some of the other differentiators in the way LTTS positions itself uniquely when compared to some of the other players in the marketplace?
So LTTS as a engineering services company, we always have believed in, one is our proactive investment. Second is joint investment with the customers, where we have been able to develop certain proof of concept. We participate with our customers sometimes, the tier ones, when they bid with their OEMs. So we typically work in the very collaborative way with our customers. There they see a lot of value for us. we come with several ideas which we take it to the customer and say that these are the things which you can do and you can implement, and customers are willing to take that and take it forward. So these are some of the differentiators which we bring on table, where we are open to partner with them, jointly develop with them, take it to the market and demonstrate to everyone that yes, what can be done. So I think these are few differentiators, I would say, as a LTTS which we bring on table.
Interesting. When we talk about SDV, right, so it's an emerging topic, but how long before do you see it becomes mainstream amongst automotive organizations? So is that stage, a couple of years away or more? What's your outlook in terms of when this could become mainstream?
So see, if you look at overall automotive development in last 10 years, people started talking about autonomous first, then they started talking about electrification and connected. For some reason, autonomous has not taken off to that level, but electric and connected has, right? And last 5 years, we have seen everything coming to life. So SDV has started a year or two back. I mean, it is as a concept, it's a long one, but actually people started implementing that once the first OEM or the new generation OEM which launched the product with that. So people have started looking. I think it is about 3 to 4 years when we actually see that coming in the product. So maybe SOP 2026, 27 is when we will have first few vehicles, few OEMs which would have deployed the complete SDV as a part of their product.
Interesting. While we talk about the pillars that you mentioned, one of the key pillars is the software-defined function itself, right? So what are those functions that you see, organizations incorporating in the context of the vehicles itself?
I think a couple of things which are very important. One is extreme personalization can happen, right? If you have different type of applications available, you can personalize the inside or the car completely with what you are looking for. That's one of the big things which I see as a benefit which is going to come with SDV, extreme personalization. Second is also on a flexibility of integrating the third party applications as well, both in the vehicle and on the devices, the personal devices which can interact with the vehicle. So these are few things which will happen. Now there can be different options or different things, like it can be I don't have to pay for a full map for the globe because I know I'll drive only in Karnataka. So maybe somebody comes with an option saying that give only this, so reduce the overall cost. Or if I am going on a long journey and I want to have a particular activity to be done, I only subscribe for that. So it will be more of pay-per use type of things where we don't really have to do everything, or buy certain things only when it is required, or personalize it so that I am able to utilize the car in a much better way than what it is. So these are few areas we think are very, very important when it comes to the features of SDV.
This brings me to another interesting point. Many analysts are pegging huge value associated with the monetization of software-defined functions. Do you see that as a reality? Do you see customers really paying for some of these software-defined functions? Or is that something that most customers would say that it's something that's integral to the vehicle itself and that they wouldn't pay on a pay-as-you-go basis for some of these functions? So what's your view based on maybe some of what you've seen with your customers, or whatever is your is the hypothesis of some of your customers in terms of being able to monetize the software-defined functions itself?
So if you really look at any feature which comes up, right? Just take ADAS features, for example. When it came, we had the same question with, can we use it in India? Is it applicable in India? But now every car has that, right? So yes, initially we will have hesitation, we will have concerns, questions on how the whole thing is going to work, can we really do it? But I am sure over a period of time people will get used to it. So if you really see, if you compare India only, anyway, US and Western countries had always had good roads and people had been driving long. So obviously there is opportunity. But look at India as a developing country now. The roads have become well. We also started driving much longer distances. Now, if I have a specific interest, I should be able to do that when I am driving. Or we as a family, when we are driving, we should be able to utilize that as a joint thing, right? I don't have to invest into setting up something completely, saying paying few 100,000 rupees to do that as a feature. I can use it when I want. So it will take time for people to get used to it, but I am sure it will be important part of how we utilize that. That's one part of monetization. But the other part is also there, like the data coming from the car itself. I mean, how it gets used by the OEMs. There are different discussions whether we use it for your insurances or deciding on new features to be designed. All that will come up slowly. So I think it's just a matter of time when people start getting used to anything. Initially anyway, change is difficult at accepting that I have to pay for these small things, but I think overall it will be a benefit for customers.
When we talk about SDV, right, many OEMs may deem that it's something core to them. But how are you articulating your value proposition as a service provider to OEMs, saying that, hey, we can definitely augment a lot of value to the OEM's journey? So how is that discussion happening with the customer?
So I think if you look at so there are three different sectors which are getting into SDV, right? When we talk about SDV, generally we think that it's automotive. But we have seen our off-highway customers also talking about it, and we working with them on defining their e-architecture and others, right? So the whole concept of or whole paradigm of core and context has changed over the period, right? Yes, customers may decide on the e-architecture part of it. E-architecture is important for that. That's the core for them. But then developing software applications or developing software platforms for them, that is no longer a core. They keep the main part of it. When we go to our customers, few of the discussions which we are having is, how do I convert the earlier platforms which are there, multiple ECUs, how do I take those features and redistribute in the new technology, new hardware, the high compute hardware, right? Those are some of the areas where the discussion. So this is the basic requirement where we are having discussions with our customers. We are working on defining some of the architecture for our customers, both in automotive and off-highway. And then comes, once you have decided that the platforms are ready, second part comes about how do I develop the software on virtually, how do I do the testing on virtually, how do I come up with new thought process of new features which can be developed. We suggest them that this can be done, that can be done, and we agree to certain things and develop based on that. So when we look at overall aspect, discussions at different level with different, some customers are matured, they say I only want to develop the software. Some customers come and say that we have the software, can you guys do the validation part of it, virtual validation. There are customers where we have discussions starting from, can you help us define the e-architecture? What are those required? Because what is required in automotive is not exactly what is required in the off-highway. So we are working with different type of customers and helping them define. So at different levels of maturity which customer has, we have different level of discussions going on.
So this is a space that's expected to evolve very rapidly over the next few years. What investments are you making at LTTS to make sure that you are at the forefront of being able to drive that value for customers?
So as I said earlier, we always had been proactive in investing. So obviously everybody is looking at resource right now. I mean, major thing is that while we have developed, and as I told you, we developed accelerators, we have developed reusable frameworks, we have developed features, we have developed solutions. So all this has been already done by us. So we have done certain demonstrative, when customer comes and talks to us about, let us talk about SDV and what have you done. We can show them how we virtualize their hardware. We can show them how we develop their software. We can show them how we test their softwares. We know how we connect to the cloud and get the data. So we have always been doing, and we have partnered with our ISVs, tool providers like QNX and others, with the cloud providers like AWS, GCP and others. So all these partnerships and membership with consortiums where we work with, we have done that. A lot of investment is going on in developing the people. See, when we talk about developing people, we are not talking only about the classroom training part of it. We have even invested in the hardware. We have invested in the tool chain. We have invested in taking them through classroom trainings. We give them hands-on training. They make it, they play it and develop those things. So those are the areas where we are investing, and I'm sure this is going to help us in a big way, because when we look at resources who are just trained and we look at people who have hands-on experience, I think we differentiate that yes, we have something, and we demonstrate to customers saying that yes, these are few things you can see. Very recently customer has given us a challenge saying that they wanted particular thing to be done, and have you done it? I said, we will demonstrate to you. We developed it, showed it. He said, okay, this is one. Now I have another challenge for you. You have done for one ECU, can you do it for multiple ECUs? So we are doing that and showcase. So capability wise, capacity wise, we are ready now with all right investments made in consortiums, partnerships, tool chain, all that. So I think that's where the investment, I would say, we have made it.
In terms of the consortiums itself, right? So there are a lot of emerging consortiums when it comes to SDV, like the Digital Auto Consortium, etc. So what is your current involvement? If you could throw some more light on the involvement in terms of the consortiums, and what is the future that's planned in terms of?
So we are part of some of the consortiums like SOFI, AutoSAR and others. And we had been partnering with them in developing some of, we had been active participant for them, where we had been developing certain things along with them. Adaptive AutoSAR is picking up, which is critical for software defined vehicle. So we had been partnering and developing certain part for them for adaptive AutoSAR as well. So that's how we interact with the consortiums, and also the partnerships with the tool providers has been a big thing. Just for example, QNX, VLabWorks and others, where we partnered and we developed joint solutions with them.
Interesting. As we come to the close of this conversation, Shailendra, any closing thoughts in terms of the way you see the space evolving and the role that LTTS will play for its customers?
So yeah, this is an upcoming area. Everybody is looking at it. Most of the things, as you asked, is it now or a couple of years? So an evolving process where we will see some things coming in few years, but we as LTTS are ready. We are ready to support our customers. We are ready with reducing their cycle time for doing it, and we are prepared not only with resources but with also, as I talked about, various aspects. We are ready to take those challenges, support our customers. We truly believe in our success basically depends on the customer's success. So we surely will be able to help them transition that 2 years, 3 years thing in much faster way. So
absolutely. As we talk about a very hyper competitive scenario with multiple OEMs competing, and I think time to market becomes extremely critical, and that's where LTTS can drive exponential value for its customers. Thank you so much, Shailendra. It was wonderful talking to you about this topic. Thank you so much for your time.
thank you.
Thank you.